Welcome to Filler Friday, where I teach you how to play a game in 10 minutes or less. Or maybe more, but we'll see. Today, we are learning how to play Metro X from Gamewright Games. So, let's put 10 minutes on the clock and get right into it. Metro X is a game for 1 to 6 players in which you'll compete against the other players by traveling through as many subway stations as possible. Visit the most stops, score the most points, and win the game. To set up, give each player a subway board, dry erase marker, and summary card. You'll then decide which subway map you'll use. For this how to play, I'll be showing you the Metro City side, as that is the side they recommend you start on. Shuffle the 15 transit cards and place them in the middle of the playing area to form the transit deck. The player who most recently took a ride on public transit will be in charge of flipping over the top card of the transit deck each turn. Before we begin though, let's familiarize ourselves with the subway board. On the subway board you'll find the following: the name of the route, route completion bonus, yellow number for the first player to complete that route, white for everyone else who completes it. Each train also has train car windows. Here you'll see that some have 2 and some 3. Next is the subway route, which is in the same color as the route name and train. This is where things can get a little confusing because there are several routes and stations that are shared. As you can see here with the red and the orange trains, the first 6 stations are shared among both routes. So as long as you carefully follow each route, you shouldn't have any problems. And lastly, there are subway stations, which is everything from the start point of the route to the end point. To play Metro X, at the start of every turn, the designated card flipper reveals the top card of the deck and discards it face up. All players must now simultaneously pick a route on their own board with an empty train car window, fill it with either a number or an X based on the revealed card, and subsequently mark off the appropriate stations along the train's route. There are 4 types of transit cards, which I'll explain now. First and foremost, there are number cards. These are blue cards ranging from 3 to 6, with 6 being just a little bit different. When a number card is flipped, fill in any empty train car window with the number on the card. Then, on that subway route, find the first empty station space from the start point and cross it off. Continue crossing off adjacent stations on that route until one of the following occurs. First, you cross off a number of stations equal to the number on the card drawn. Here you can see that I've drawn a 5. I've decided to put that in my purple train. I can now cross off stations on that route equal to the number on the drawn card. Second, you encounter a previously crossed off station. On a following turn, a 3 has been drawn. To show the example, I'll place the 3 here in my yellow train. I now begin crossing off stations, but as you can see after the second station, we've run into a previously crossed off one. So, we would have to stop here and miss out on that third station. And lastly, once you reach the route's endpoint. On this turn, a 6 has been drawn. I'll go ahead and place that in my purple train and start crossing off stations. As indicated by the station matching the route's color, I've reached the endpoint of that route. Now is a good time to mention that if you draw the reshuffle 6 card, at the end of the turn, collect all the cards from the discard pile and reshuffle the entire transit deck. Next are skip cards. These function the same way as the blue number cards with one exception. You can now skip over previously crossed off stations along a route, whereas with the numbered cards you could not. A skip 3 card was just drawn, and I would like to place that here on the green route. As you can see, I've already started on the green route from a previous turn, so I go to the beginning of that route and I can start crossing off stations from there. However, after placing my first stop, I've run into a previously crossed off station. If this were just a regular blue number card, I would be done there. But with the skip card, I can skip over those previously crossed off stations and continue on my way along the green route. Next, with transfer cards, fill an empty train car window with an X. Then on that route, find the first empty station space from the start point and fill it in with a number equal to twice the number of train lines that make a stop there. For this example, I'm going to choose route C, the pink route. I place an X in the window and then I follow that line from the start point to the first empty space. When I get there, I see that there are 4 lines that make their way through that station: yellow, pink, purple, and green. And since I score twice the number of train lines that make a stop there, I'll get 8 points, which I write in that station's space. Lastly, there is one free space card. When this is drawn, do not fill an empty train car window. Instead, cross off any one empty station anywhere on your board. Once all players have marked their boards, any player who completes a route announces it to the rest of the group. The first player who completes a route circles a gold diamond icon and receives those points at the end of the game. All other players cross off the gold diamond to show that it has already been claimed by someone. Anyone who completes that same route after the fact circles the white square. If multiple players complete the route first on the same turn, they each receive the gold diamond's bonus. Once all players have marked their boards, the card flipper reveals the next card of the transit deck and a new turn begins. The game ends after all the train car windows are filled. This should happen at the same time for all players. Players will announce one last time if they've completed any routes and then add up their final scores. Each board contains spaces in the bottom right to calculate your score. Add up the total points from all completed routes and enter it here. Then, add up all your transfers. Lastly, if you have any empty spaces, count those up. Place that number in the circle above empty, and then refer to your summary card how many points you're penalized for that number of empty spaces. The player with the most points is the winner. In the event of a tie, the player with the fewest empty spaces wins. If there is still a tie, all tied players win. There is a solo variant that plays the exact same way, except you'll always circle the gold diamond on your board. At the end, add up your points and compare them to the chart in the rulebook to see how you did. And there you have it. That was how you play Metro X. Go ahead and smash that subscribe button and ring the bell to get notified on any future videos. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Links for everything in the description below. But until next time, thanks for watching and happy gaming.